I woke up to the refinery glow, feeling my hands still running low. Blueprints stacked on the bench again. Every new fix just leads to 10. Walls go up, then the hunger grows. Another upgrade, another load. I built this place with my own two hands. Now it keeps asking me to stand. I'm tired, but I'm still here, counting every scrap I clear. If I keep my head on straight, it's worth it in the end. Gather the fuel at the edge of town, drag it back when the sun goes down. Research lines on a cracked up screen, chasing what this whole thing means. I upgrade one, then I need two more. That's the kind of life I can't ignore. It's frustrating, yeah, I won't pretend, but I'm not leaving this halfway built. I'm tired, but I'm still here, counting every scrap I clear. If I keep my head on straight, maybe this will turn to fate. Worth it in the end, worth it in the end. I keep on building, I keep on bending. Worth it in the end, worth it in the end. Every hard day, every slow spend, I tell myself it's worth it in the end. Worth it in the end. Ooh. Worth it in the end. I keep on building, I keep on bending. Worth it in the end, worth it in the end. I've come too far to just give in, so I keep on going, I keep believing. Worth it in the end. Worth it in the Bulwarks took the front line, science held the back. Ropes slid in like razors, cut the whole squad stack. Steel on the sand, hands full of grit. We tried to hold the choke point, but they broke through it. Shield walls cracking, minds running hot. Every lane was burning, every call got shot. A fist still stayed silent, eyes on the flare. One last card in the dark, one last breath in the air. Electrolink, strike through the haze. Electrolink, turn the lost to a blaze.
All right, hello, welcome everybody back to the stream. We have a fun day ahead of us here, something a little bit more chill. I'm going to be having or at least it'll be intense in the battlefield, but it's a little bit more chill for me anyway. Trying to take a little bit more of a relaxed approach going into our arena games here today. Still trying to climb, however. We're going to be trying to get into the Gauntlet ranked mode as per usual and see if our invokers, if our squad could potentially break that top 20. As it stands right now, we are getting close. We're in 28th. Granted, that jump from where I'm at right now in 28th all the way up to 20th where Squawk is currently is a couple 100-point gap. So is that something that we can make up here today? A lot of things would have to go my way, to say the least, but we can maybe at least climb a couple of positions nonetheless and see what we can do here, whether it be the invokers or whether we have to adapt a little bit and try something different, because I know, at least personally, the invokers have been giving me a little bit of a harder time. Even though a lot of mine are level 50 or 60, it does still feel like we're just a little bit out of place. Maybe I just take too much damage early, I'm not 100% sure per se, but we'll be giving it a shot nonetheless. Hoping for a couple of solid lobbies. I know we had the bonus game yesterday. Unfortunately, it was just full of bots, but was still fun. And then maybe if the timing allows, maybe we do manage to level up a couple of Illuvials. I know specifically my fire team, my rogue teams, heck, pretty much everything except invokers are definitely needing a little bit of love. I've gotten a handful of them. Like, say my rogues, I've actually got up to like level 35, level 40 now, which is definitely way better than where they were before. A lot of them were still in the 20s before, so allows me to not just be seen as a one-trick as well, that I'm not just an invoker player. It might be my main, but I can pivot if I need to. Not a one-trick pony over here. And let's see if we can give the arena a little bit of smoke here. I'm already dealing with it naturally, thanks to, of course, all these wildfires that are happening in Canada, in Ontario currently. I know I woke up this morning and it looked like something out of Silent Hill with how thick the smoke was. And might have been a little bit of the reason why I felt so dizzy yesterday. But we're good now. Overall, it's not completely cleared, but it's better than what it was, so all's going well here. Big man, good to see you. Hope you're having a fantastic day. My grind was going well last night till you lost the intern. That sucks. That's frustrating. Yep, that definitely hurts a ton. It's so unforgiving, right? You get an 8th and you lose like 30 points, but then you get a win even, you're maybe getting 13 or so, or if you get second, you get like 7 or something along those lines. Especially now, like those early stages when you're, say, first starting out and you're in that like 1200 range, you can get ratings so quickly, but then all of a sudden you hit that wall around, say, 1400, 1500, and it makes it very, very difficult. Yes, I remember it was bad for you as well there, JB. Damn, yeah. Hopefully the smoke goes away sometime soon. Just thinking about it's making me all stuffy here. Alright, we got a couple players here this time by. Droa, Blazin, Prowler, and Mabsy. I think I've seen Mabsy a little bit more active in Discord as of late. I'm not 100% sure if they're new or if they're just more active as of late. Nonetheless, good to see them and everybody into this matchup. You did lose 25 points with that, eh? Damn. Yeah. That hurts. 100%. Okay, first and foremost, links check. Okay, so Arcane Zephyr links. That is absolutely something we could implement into a Scion-based team if things go our way. But again, I can't just blindly go into the team comp that I want. I need to see what everybody else is doing before we even get there. If people are picking up Scion weapons and I feel like I'm going to be contested, it could be problematic. And then, while I'm looking at water teams as well, while it might not necessarily be a Scion team, there's many times, of course, where Sinelf or Dualef will get splashed into those comps just because it's water. Which means I'm inadvertently being contested anyway, even though it's not the same build, so something to keep in mind. Then Blazon's on the come up here as well. I believe they get a little bit more levels. They might actually graduate from Lynx into Monarch in the somewhat near future when it comes to House League games. They're definitely right on the fringe. If I was going strictly off of collection score, I think technically they'd already be graduated. However, again, it's the levels that are missing as of this moment. So can't necessarily move them up just yet, but they are very, very close. Okay, Mini Bunker coming on in to start things off up against the first bot. The bot average level is about a 33, so a little bit more forgiving compared to some of the lobbies that we even seen yesterday, where the average level of the game that I was in there is like, what, 41 or 40-ish? To the point where it was very difficult to even still. And even though I was in a lobby full of bots, heck, I almost lost that game. So, goes to show, bots are still tough. Okay. Pop this open. We're not going to find any of our Scion weapons just yet, but I want to see what everybody else is doing to start this one up. Androa picking up the Aqua Blaster. Blazon as well. Prowler. Okay, everybody is picking up a Scion weapon here, which makes it so that I definitely cannot go my Scion route comfortably. Mabsby picked up the rogue weapon as well, so I think I'm just going to go Elderwood Staff. This is going to be like a little bit of a middle down the road kind of style. We'll get our Cling into the battle as we see Blazon here, ready to rock, level 38 average. Definitely on the come up here. They did manage to find themselves a Lynx, and that very well might just tear a hole through me here in a second. My Ranger is not in an optimal position to utilize that Elderwood Staff. Of course, a big circle shield across anything nearby is good, but it's not good stuck in the corner like that. So a bit of a misposition on my end means we're not going to be able to kill off that Lynx. So the Ranger had all day to take me down. Resilience, no. Attack speed, potentially. Combat rhythm, I'll take that instead, absolutely. Can we get ourselves a phase breaker? We're going to absolutely be able to do so. Swap that over. Pick Old Faithful. TNT come out to play. Okay, so one of the bots coming on through here. Do something like this for the time being. We can go absolutely heavy nature into what's being thrown at us right now. With Androa going water, Mabsby going water, Blazon going water, and then, if I recall correctly, okay, we're going to be at the slight disadvantage in regards to Prowler with the Earth side of things if they go heavy into it. But in theory, a nature-based team is good into 3 of the 4 players in this lobby. So I don't mind the idea of a hard-focused nature team this time by. If I could sneak my Invokers in there a little bit, I absolutely will. But maybe we become one with the Wildfire a little bit. Thankfully, my TNT is here to try and clutch this up. I imagine it's going to be close up until the point where this shot comes out. Do they get their shield out in time? They do, so they're actually still going to go down. We got away with that one. Sweet. I thought we were kind of getting cooked on that, but nope, not this time. Okay, resistance stealing. Let's take that, give that to our tank. So with this being nature right off the rip, let's bring in something like this. Ranger up in the middle. Something like that. I'm not going to get the entirety of what I'm looking for, but this is a nice quick and early 4 nature team coming through. Should be able to clean that one up. Eventually, depending on which way I'm going, I can absolutely throw this team into a corner. And in fact, that might be something I do end up doing anyway, but maybe not necessarily a corner, but maybe into a side. But because I don't want all of my Illuvials to spread out too far, Because what could happen if I'm like in the left-hand side? Actually, wait a second. Let me get my mouse actually on board here. That was something I said I was going to do for the stream that I didn't do just yet. Capture cursor. Hey, there we go. Now we're all set. Double links, can't say no to that. But what I was saying before is if there's another team that's in, say, the corner over here, and I place mine over here, my tanks are all going to be battling in this upper area, which is going to keep me away from my ranger shield and keep me away from my Archie. And I'm just losing like half the value of my squad in that instance. So, do not want to be spaced out too far. There's Mabsby. Can we get a nature imprint? We're absolutely going to be able to do so, making maybe getting 6 or 8 nature just that much easier. Give you a little bit... Oh, actually, let's see what we can get. The energy damage variant or the stealing one? Let's try the stealing one. I don't use this too often, but I'm curious as to how it'll work out today. And with this being a rogue-based team, I'm going to do a last-second flip around here with my main tank. Try and catch some of these rogues as they hop on in. And Mabsby level 17. So yeah, they're up and coming. Good to see them. The level advantage is definitely going to make this look harder than what it is. I do believe that they're on the right track in terms of a build. Yeah, they're already like 4 or 5 rogues. So, like, look at this. I'm getting chewed through pretty badly here. But if the level disadvantage wasn't so bad, this would easily be Mabsby's game. 100%. That's what I was trying to get at. Stroking out a little bit over here, apparently. Okay, empath, go away. We'll grab one more view. So what do I need? If I really want to go heavy into nature, I do believe that a Archelian would be clutch. But let's double check before I take a look at rolling for Archelian. It looks very clean, actually, so we can try and do so. Finding the links is actually making it a little bit awkward here as well. I will start collecting them, but do I actually go for it for sure or not? I'm not quite sure. If it lands in my pocket while I'm chasing Archelian anyway, then by all means, but I don't think I'm going to force and like stay at level 5 just to get Lynxes in this instance. Especially since a lot of my nature units that I want are tier 3s and tier 4s. My big push is actually more so level 7, level 8, so I'd rather get there as quick as possible. Prowler, I think, is going to be able to get me. That TNT is just going to have too much damage, I do believe. They, too, have an Arcane Lynx going on over there. And should be able to shred through. Yeah, I have no damage left, so even if overtime pulses come on through, they should be able to take me down. Good work there, Prowler. Okay, there's one of the tanks that I'm looking for. We'll switch these out. There we are. No rogues this time, so we'll set up like this. My ranger's not in the right spot either. That could have made an impact. Something like that, potentially. Make everybody snuggle a little bit. Okay, leashes can go away. We're not going to end up using those. And we're going to be a little bit short at actually getting the Archos onto the field. So Goyle not going to join us just yet. 6 nature, very quick now into this current setup, now that the Heady had arrived. But if there is still enough damage, they can absolutely crush us, and Androa would absolutely be a player that can do that. Level 41, very good collection. Sucks that the Ranger is just stuck behind the Flish, but even still, they're going to be able to crush my team for the time being. We're still at an okay spot. 75 or 73 health does not have me worried just yet. Let's see, there's healing, there's shield value, and then I have a lot of fun with this, actually. For the damage that you get while becoming super tanky, I actually really like it, and I'm going to give it another shot as we now get Verdant online. Archos should be here. Did I not actually buy it? No, I think I screwed up a little bit there. That's my bad. More Lynxes. And sure enough, must have let something slip through the cracks a little bit. Misplay on my end. Yeah, because I thought I had Archos. Now, pretty confident with this, but what's causing a problem, I think, for me now, if I sit here waiting for Archos for too long, I'm going to start getting passed really badly. So when we have our NPC rounds and then get that big influx of cash, I have to make the decision then. Do I want to actually push up and go for level? Or do I really want to all-in on that Archos? I do not think all-inning on the Archos is a good idea. Archos is fantastic, or Archelion, rather, is fantastic if you can get it relatively quickly and, like, not have to risk too much to actually get it. But does it make enough of an impact to warrant staying at level 5? I do not think so. We'll go for the Smoldering Strike. We're going to get the Archos, so that part's fine. We're going to move up into level 6 right now, which allows me to then get my Arcane Links onto the field. 2 Scions now coming out to play. What I think I'll also do... Oh, no, I kind of like it in the middle still. Let's stay middle. I was debating on going on to the side. What about the rest of my nature units? So, Pasta does have the Crunk. That's going to mean rolling for Hetty's going to be difficult. But otherwise, nobody has a lot of nature, so I might not be in a terrible spot, all things considered. Composite Synergy, another Verdance potentially. Yes, please, I think. That would be pretty brutal. And now this makes it even more weird, because I wish now I had Archelion big time. Blazon coming on through. How about we meet the Lynx? Omnivamp potentially, or shield into resistances, regen. Let's try the Omega. Okay. Let's get up to level 7. This will allow me to, let's see, throw, what, Axon onto the field? Axon can come on through. My little Tofi is not necessarily finding much use as of this moment. Lynx, dive over to the side. See if we can cleave through this first initial wave of tanks. And then Tofi and Axon will tank the big rogues that I'm worried about. Good first shot there from the Lynx, actually. Does manage to nearly take out the Caradulo by itself. But again, while we have tankiness, or even have a lot of Verdant online as well, we don't necessarily have damage unless the Lynx hits. But even right now, that Lynx that I'm working with as of this moment, level 40, it's still being leveled up. But it's not the worst thing in the world. We're going to be able to take Blazon this time. Works for me. And now T-Anti's here, so we just get a little bit beefier. Works for me here as well. We could potentially scoop up the Flare just to have our 5th Bulwark here in just a second. See if we can maybe get some more nature units. There's another big nature unit, actually, with our foe coming into play. Another unit I am desperate to try and level here. Didn't necessarily have a great spot to put them. I wish I would have moved my Grotto a little bit. Now, this team is also Aegis now. I've just been using it to buff up my tank line, which for the most part has been doing okay. I can debate on maybe making the switch over to Foe as the unit that I Aegis buff, but then I'm going to be for sure losing out a little bit on my Ranger's ability with that big shield. Because I took the one that gives me a ton of health, but then also does damage, it means I still want my Ranger kind of in the front line at least. Because look at this, it's making not my Axon, but my Twine basically unkillable, which is absolutely beautiful. And heck, even my foe is still doing a great job hanging out with the chipped up Hetty. So if I can just make a team that just feels absolutely unkillable. The big thing that I need now also is Fern. If I get my Fern, I could swap out the Totopi, and 8 nature will be here. We're going to clean that one up and take care of the first bot. We're no longer in range to be able to build tier 0s. Let me make sure those are cleaned up. Indroa, the next one we're going after. I'm going to give up on the links. There's a lot of credits just sitting here. Would have loved to have been able to use them, but it's not going to be in the cards here today. That Rake in particular coming out here from Androa is going to be a very scary guy. So let's switch both of these out, kind of like so. 5 bulwarks, so I'm going to be super tanky. I've got a ton of passive healing. But the lower that Rake goes, the more damage it's going to deal. So it's going to be very scary to try and watch. Does have to deal with the Verdants coming on through, but again, Rake does not mind getting stuck on a tank because that Wraith Strike, no matter what, hits 3 units. But it's looking like there's enough passive healing here that, sure, the Rake is getting multiple targets, but it's getting healed up before anything can actually even come on through. And by the time the Rake is in a position where it can clutch up, well, everybody is still very high HP. Look at the amount of healing coming out here from the squad. There we go. Hetty of the Evolution will gladly take that. Crunk is now here. This next team coming out here from Prowler. Sure, you've got that Lallura coming on through that's going to want to dive in, but everything else wants to face tank me from the front. So let's move Crunk back up here. Something like this. Foe, go into the corner, actually. The only one that I want to actually tank this Lallura is just going to be my little flare over here. And the last minute evolution onto the Forest. So my little guy has arrived, level 31. I don't get to use Forest very often as a spellcaster main or a Scion main, so we get to mix things up a little bit early here. And I have augments that I can actually throw into that Forest as well. Of course, the Terror Bird, very susceptible to running in front of the tanks and getting itself killed off, but I have an augment to actually counteract that with this Phase Breaker. Phosphorus is definitely going to be the icing on the cake, but where's the ferns? Somebody died with some, otherwise nobody has fern at all. Okay, interesting. Let's stay at level 8 then. First couple rolls, not going to find it. There we go. Okay, TNT, thank you for your service. 8 Nature, now online. And then I want to keep my Fern in a position. Again, another Illuvial that I do need to level up. Level 38 as of this moment. If I can find Burnite, Burnite's actually relatively decently leveled. Just got to get there first. Shield value increase, yes please. Pure damage, yes please. Again, who's playing what? Is there any sort of dodge? In fact, I do have to worry about the Rake. The one way I lose this game is the Rake screwing me. So what I'm going to do, as much as I want snowballing damage, I'm taking the one with True Sight. And I'm going to put it onto my foe every single time we happen to fight up against Androa. Or at least I'm going to try to remember to do so. There is a little bit of an APM task there that I have to worry about. Another empath potentially. Let's throw that on to one of our tanks, why don't we? Decent little setup here now. We've got a bunch of credits as well. Gonna scan through, and while this battle is going on, because I'm in a comfortable spot, that's where I'm gonna just do my rolling. Another Heady. Couple upgrades coming on through here. Another Twine. If we could potentially find Gnarl, that would be humongous. Is my Forest still alive? Yep, they're chipping away there at that Arc Taste. It's gonna go directly into that ramp fight. Yep, that hurt like hell. And we will actually end up losing this one. I didn't realize the jump scare Vanguard Furiox over here in the corner. And I should have absolutely positioned with that in mind, but missed it that time, won't miss it the second time. Let's see. The 10% of max health for a second win will go for, and there we are, perfect. So Fernite is now here. Going up against Blazin, who does have a Rake, so I'm going to switch this up. Something like this, so Forest will have the True Sight. It's a little bit of an advantage here for me because Blazin's not specifically going up against me in this instance. And okay, the Pengu actually got onto my forest, so that's a little bit unfortunate. Wasn't paying attention apparently there on my end. We're going to be able to get that, thankfully, though. And now forest can start working. It's in the perfect lineup, too, with the Fur Knight. Of course, every time that Fur Knight fires off its Omega, not only does it interrupt enemy units, but if any of your allies hitting that tornado get an attack speed buff. So when forest sits in that, it goes absolutely nuts. Hey, Jack, good to see you. I hope you're having a fantastic day. You're getting smoked out too here, eh, as Ajax. Gotta tell your Blotto to settle down. Okay, now we're up against Prowler. Spread out ever so slightly to allow my forest to be the buffed up alluvial. Do something like that. In theory, forest comes down to get Lolura. No, went for Vermilier or Verminio. That's okay. As long as it's not in the carry's way initially. It didn't get into a good spot, actually, though. It's going to get burned down very quickly, I would imagine. Give me a couple ghosting screams before you leave, though. Okay, it's a lot of damage. Fur Knight's going to end up being the damage for this final little bit, but at least, again, there's a lot of healing here, and a lot of their damage relies on TNT to burst, and with that, we should be okay. Yeah, we're just going to out-heal and just chip away. Gonna knock Prowler out of here this time by, but GG's nonetheless. Androa did not get Umber yet, so I'm gonna steal the dash. And then I need to find a way to get my Ador into play here. Yeah, it's this one. It's the lower level one, but I do want that one to be the one I'm using. Let's get it situated like this. And block my forest from immediately dive bombing everybody there. Yeah, it'll be you. So let's level you up. Ador all the way to the edge, please. And in theory, Fur Knight should be tanking the Sin-Off beam coming out from Blazin. My forest is doing an awkward 1v2. That's definitely not a good spot, but we do take care of the Penguin. Can we now get onto this break? And this is exactly why I put the True Sight on there. Not enough time to actually get another shot through. So perfect scenario here. Perfectly done from the team. And now that Ador is here as well, able to just be that extra bit of healing to stop any sort of bursting. So it's Androa and I for the final bits. Level 9 should be a safe enough place to roll. I mean, I'm still a ways away from hitting potentially Blotto or a Gnarl. And now the odds are definitely not in my favor in regards to getting Archie up to Archelion, but still gladly accept it anyway. NPC rounds coming on through. Adorito, welcome. I have a little bit of diminishing returns here thanks to 9 nature, so if I can find a better tank, I think it would be wise to go for it. That is a huge lineup coming on through, actually. Okay, Archelion, it's not happening. Let's pick up you two. Did Androa get Umber yet? No, still working on it. Okay. Hetty, okay, we'll let you go. We'll set it up like this. Legendary augments coming on through. This could be a huge buff here. Let's get the Berserker's Flurry. This doesn't give me True Sight, but what I can do is help keep Forest safe a little better. So that extra range is going to come in very, very nicely. Let's give the stealing stats over to you. Double stealing stats, potentially. We can try and stack these. And now we roll, but I'm running out of space badly. Umber's here. Okay, never mind. We just go. Okay, my Fern's going to trap my Forest in here for a second, but I think that extra range is going to allow me to keep swinging. 2 tanks doing a good job of holding off the Umber to the side. But of course, that Wraith Strike is still within range to mess with my Adorito. So it's something I definitely got to keep in mind for this next round versus Androa. Good shot once again coming on through from the Sinolf. The fact that the Sinolf has the Berserker's Flurry is a little bit interesting in my opinion, but we'll see how it goes for them. Good shot from the Sinolf as well. We just don't have the damage. We were stuck on that Mammoth for a very long time. Okay, let's move. Fernite. Okay, big pickup here with the Gnarl joining the squad. Okay, Adorius is now here. Oh, hold the line. Phosphorus is now here. That was a hell of a roll down. Okay, in the last second move, bring Axon over here. Good choice on Androa. I was hoping to make it so that the Wraith Strike would just hit 3 tanks, but the last minute move they made on their own Umber is actually going to put that Umber right in a sweet spot. So while I did get a lot of upgrades, there's no guarantee this actually goes well. And with the Dorius going down nice and fast, that's very problematic. But we're on to the Umber at least this time. And they've already used their Phase Breaker. Phosphorus is going to have to carry, but again, we've also just used our Phase Breaker. Need to get rid of this damn doggo, and we're going to be able to get rid of it, but after all of our Illuvials die, it's going to be too little too late. So what I think we need to do is corner up now. Best as we possibly can. I'm kind of content leaving Phosphorus here, just to chip away at the tanks, then come around. Let's see if this works out. We have that extra range, so we should be okay. Because we bunkered up, that Sinolf is going to have an actual fantastic day. And somehow that Umber squeaked in again. The Singe moved just far enough, and the heals are not going to be enough. So I think Androa does take us out with this one. Beautifully well played, unless Phosphorus can do this. It's not looking good here for us this time by. GG's Androa. Going to get me this time by. Well, they accept a tiny little bit of rating, but at the same time, I'm happy that at least a lot of my nature units do get some experience. Not much in regards to levels, but that's okay. A lot of them are at least in the 30s. It takes about a game or two to get through every single 30s. But we'll gladly accept it nonetheless. So I didn't use Invoker that time because 3 people picked Scion weapons. And as much as I would love to force it, it would not have been wise to do so. Because I imagine with so many of the Scion weapons, like somebody had Earthgraph Scepter, they can get TNT very quickly. So okay, never mind about my chance at finding Sephorus. And there was 2 Aqua Blasters and then a Water Rogue weapon. So it's like, okay, even if they're not building Scions, they're probably still going to try and grab Sinolf at the very least to help build up that water team. And that would mean I would have to strictly rely on a Fisto, but Fisto's damage alone cannot carry you, so that's why I didn't do it that time. And then yeah, it was an instance where either I would go for Rogue, but I'd be contesting with Mabsby, and you play Rogue contested, you're putting yourself in a very scary spot. Then if it was the Ember Buckler, but with everybody using water or ground, or earth rather, I didn't necessarily want to go for fire. So the only other option was the Elderwood Staff, which was the nature empath weapon, and nobody else I think actually had anything nature. So it allowed me to have easier access to higher tier and higher stage Illuvials, even though those aren't my good Illuvials, if that makes sense. Like, I can make up for the fact that I don't have much levels on them because they're higher evolutions. It's kind of a trade-off that you can do when you're like starting off a little bit. Would I have performed better if I still tried the Force Invoker anyway? Maybe it would have been around the same results. Probably would have got a second or third or something because my units would have been contested, in my opinion. But it worked out this way nonetheless. I'm pretty much going to Arcanite Inferno to level up the team, ready to mix up now. Heck yeah, you're definitely like right on brand with the wildfire side of things. And my pleasure. Like, don't take anything that I'm saying with as gospel. Because the strategy I could always be giving could actually be flawed. But I'm at least giving you my mindset for it, and then if I am wrong, maybe we can learn together. Hector, good to see you. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Good luck in your match here in just a moment's time. Don't kick my ass too hard, please. No, I'm just kidding. You go ham. I always expect the best. Links check. We're going to be getting the Stoic Terra links this time. Bye. I like all of the Illuvials that I've gotten right off the rip here, so we'll start off with this. We're at Crimson Waste, so we do have level 3 already on board. Okay, I'll grab all those. Grab Atlas 2 just in case. Recycle that. And again, it'll all depend on what other people are doing in regards to which strategy I go for. Obviously, I'm very biased towards Invokers, with that being my best team. But again, just like last game, we might have to pivot if it's going to be too heavily contested. We're up against Prowler, so I cannot be using guys that I want to level up. Instead, I should be using things that I actually have somewhat leveled. 41 in this instance. Put you here. Actually, in fact, maybe we try something like this. Phase Breaker. My 2 Scions. A 3rd Scion. Get Nature involved. I have a couple chips left over, so I'm missing it out in that regard, but in terms of actually winning, this is the only thing that I think I could possibly do to squeak through. My Nature Valente, my Nature Flish, one of my better tier zeros. Happy that they were able to join me here today. I would honestly, if I had the chance to choose exactly which tier 0 and which element I get every game, my greater Nature Flish would be with me every single game. We have a handful of choices now, so let's take a look at our players here. We've got Mike as well in this lobby. Prowler picking up a Scion weapon, going to make me feel a little uncomfortable there. Mabsby has Earth. Empath, that's fine. Hector is going to hang on for a little while here, it looks like. Picking up the staff. That could be basically anything, but I think we do have room to try and squeak in Scion this time. Already got 3 of them on board. Get a tank in line now. The links again this time is a Stoic Terra link, so if I happen to get it naturally, perfect, but I'm not going to stress too hard about it. Water? I mean, this isn't going to be a full water team. I think that actually the nature might be better because I don't die often because of lack of energy. I die due to lack of tank, so I think that nature might be the better option. I've been trying to go full Tsunami, but keep getting stuck with full Toxic, which is still good, but want to try full Tsunami. Absolutely. I mean, that's awkward, right? You got to roll at level 5, potentially. Just makes it very irritating, and then you have to try again at level 8. It's just far enough to be awkward. Okay. Picked up a fusion augment here, resonating pulse reactor to get attack speed every time we use our Omega. Because I'm not against the idea that maybe this turns into a Fury Ox space team. Or just like a Scion-based team with Furiox. Not opposed to that idea. We have enough damage that we should be able to power through this. Yes, there we go. Okay, another Tatofi, another Flish. We'll gladly take that. There's Mabsby. We do have one rogue looking to come dive me here. A nice little gorilla there. And what I'm going to actually do... start setting up my bunker as I normally would. Try and toughen up enough of a gap here where if anything, that gorilla's going for the Flish. Or the Ranger, neither. It's still going for Tatofi. Okay, nice shot there, Gorilla. You found the hole and are absolutely wrecking my day. But you should dip out of here, right? Yep, there we go. Perfect. The TNT, of course, not a very fast shooter, but with this augment, it does go up to a rather respectable amount of attack speed. So, it does let me be a little silly in the early game, to say the least. Still be able to hold my own, even though this really doesn't make sense, because like I'm looking at 72 attack speed, that's actually kind of rough. But now that we're a TNT, that does change things at least a little bit, so now we hit a little harder. Archie is here, perfect, our healer. But we're sitting pretty as of this moment, have not lost a single round. We've got our TNT very quickly, and we're already in progress to hit level 5, already having a healer on board. Which is where I'm going to do my first roll down if the conditions do allow me to. Otherwise, I am completely content, completely ignoring Cephorus, and just bursting ahead. Now we're up against Hector, so we're going to level up to 5. I'll spend the credits to do so, because I'm not going to be able to win against Hector in a underpowered scenario. Their collection as a whole is better than mine as is, so even as an even fight, this does not give me the greatest amount of confidence, but we'll still give it a shot. Alright, bunker up nice and tight if we can. Lynx, you take that. We'll put the Omega Power Augment onto you. And like, this scenario doesn't upset me too much, because this Grocko is going to come directly at my Lynx, keep it within range, I believe, of the Archie. Meanwhile, their tanks, their DPS, they're not near their Ranger, and they're not near their Archos, or the only one that's getting healed is actually the Atipo. So I get free damage onto their actual DPS units, and as soon as I get those off, I mean, it's not an easy fight still, but we could potentially snowball this. Good shot from TNT, going to be able to take care of the Apon. How about Flish? What do you got? There we go, takes one down, gets a lot of damage down. Yeah, TNT is going to be able to clutch this beautifully alongside the Ranger. Beautiful. Alright, one more Archie, and now we can start rolling a little bit. Finding an early Ador is actually kind of crazy here. Ador does need some levels desperately, so I'm debating on actually making this switch here. And then same thing with Caribou, I would like you to join. And then we'll pause for the moment. Now, what am I looking at when it comes to rolling at level 5? It's two things. First off, it's the Lynxes. Can I get a Stoic Terra Lynx for free? As I can see right now as this battle's going on, absolutely not. In fact, Prowler does seem to be loading up on some Lynxes as well. So if I'm going to stay at this level, it's not for the Lynx. But then how about TNT, the snail? Is that something that I want? Definitely, but there is also, again, Prowler picking up a TNT. The next possible thing that I do need, that I'm thinking about, do I have my main tanks? Do I have Axon and Caradulo? That I do not. So that I'm actually willing to stay at level 5 for, assuming it's not contested too heavily. There is the one Axon from Mabsby, but that's basically it. Caradulo is still completely available. So I don't mind throwing a couple rolls into this shop in a second and seeing if maybe I get lucky towards not just the Caradulo, but maybe some of these other Illuvials that I'm shooting for as well. Yeah, because now we've got Caradulo, now I choose. Do I go for Axon? I could probably look for Axon. We can do so, and hey, how about that? There's another Lynx. We'll gladly pick that up. Tipo, you can leave for now. There's another Snail. We can pick that up. And then there is an Archie, it looks like. May have to look into leveling up at least up to 6 and then trying again here, because my bench is completely loaded. I do need to get one more Illuvial onto the field, but it is going to screw my chances at getting a lot of these good tier 1s. Granted, it changes it to 50% for a tier 1 to 40, so I guess it could still be fine. And there we go, up against Mike this time. I see you, Mike, on the climb as well. Level 22 average. Keep going. Keep pushing. I know the leveling process is very, very tough. So we will be able to climb on through just through pure sustain. Again, having the Ador so quickly is a absolute gift. Glacial Grip, let's get the stun. We'll level up to 6. And what do we want to go? 3 Bulwarks would be missing or be filled. Let's get Atlas onto the field. And I need a nature unit. Okay, let's get... We're going to be labeled as Toxic Enchanter, but Enchanter's not going to actually be active just yet. Okay, this Archie is going to tease me, it looks like. Axon, now you're here. Now, save my credits one more time. I am right around the corner from an Exalted Nature Leash, which would be an awesome little addition. It would also be the only way that allows me to do Toxic Invoker in this current state. Because if you're using the Emberling Rod like I would normally use if I had it available, you can get Toxic Invoker pretty easily. But going from the Aqua Blaster variant, it is not anywhere near as simple. Hector's also level 6 at this moment, much more wealthy than I. Prowler level 6, blue essentially the whole bank though. Mabsby not in a bad spot credits-wise though, 70, very, very nice. And let's see, Bloodthirst is huge, I'd love that. There we go, bingo. Exalted Nature Flish has arrived. The biggest of little guys. And we'll gladly pick up the Cling here as well and start pushing towards levels. I think just doing that should be enough to get my leash onto the field. In fact, let's do something like this. With it being the full version, I mean, it's 200 DPS. Or 200 auto attack damage, and it shoots faster than TNT, just ever so slightly. We might be able to let Flish try and carry a little bit, but finding Fury makes this also very interesting. Okay, yeah, we can absolutely do that. Let's pick up Fury. Lynx come back. Cling, move forward. Let's give Nature to you. Make you tankier. Give you energy. Do Tessellating. Fusion. Let's try the True Sight variant. We're not going to get this augment out in time. By selling the Lynx, let's get these Lynxes off the board here as well. Next round, we'll be able to comfortably add Fury. Mabsby with the Swarm coming on through up front. They're able to take care of a lot of my tanks, though. This is not a comfortable situation in the slightest. Can our support line heal us here? The big thing that I missed, again, with Cling on the board, the final play that I was supposed to make there was actually link my Ranger up with my Cling so I could actually have Toxic Harbinger online. Instead, I just had Toxic, no Harbinger. I'm thankfully not going to be punished too hard that time by, but it could have been better. There we go. Let's do something like that. Level. Okay. Fleesh, come down towards the bottom. Fury, where art thou? There you are. Let's give you all the goods. Let's snuggle up with Fury just kind of like that. Maybe even make you a nature unit temporarily. And we have a lot of Scions on the board. This turned into a very heavy nature team once again, but with a little bit of Scion interference. Now, whether I stay with Fury is still to be determined. I can absolutely pivot very easily off of a Fury-based team and go Invoker instead, but usually people want to go after Fury no matter what anyway, so I'm still going to be a thorn in their side. Because let's take a look. So yeah, Hector, for instance, does have Furiox. So who doesn't say that I just keep collecting Furioxes for a bit? Make it a little bit difficult, potentially make them spend. And I can still make this better even if I do think correctly. Speaking of Hector, there they are. So I can switch this. If I do something like this, get Fury down a little bit further back. You set up like this. Fern, come join me. Boost my dear Fury as best as you possibly can. Now, Hector's got a great squad, though, and I do believe that this Furiox, just by itself, should be able to destroy me. For the time being. I don't think it could stay that way, though. We'll see in a second. Because augment-wise, theirs is definitely set up much better for damage, but mine's going to be very attack speed-based. Does not have the piercing force reactor a little bit. So the Fern boost. So in regards to Fern, I'll explain in a second here as this battle finishes up. It's actually very close, but I think my Fury is going to get caught in the line of fire here in just a second. There goes one Fern. Can we get their Furiox? If we get it, it's doable. No, big heal coming through. Yeah, there it goes. Okay. So in terms of the Fern boost. So the Fern's Omega ability itself, Twist Wing. So of course we're used to the Twist Wing going on through, shooting the furthest enemy unit, right? And it would be given that tiny little bit of stun. A stun that small, I basically call an interrupt. It basically stops abilities, but doesn't really stop you from fighting too much, right? But the boost aspect of the Twist Wing is kind of slept on. Allies hit by your tornado also give you a 10% bonus attack speed buff. And of course, that gets bigger if you're a Fur Knight or if you're a Blaza Knight. So if you can hit your Fury with the tornado, like in this kind of position right here, where we're going to see my Fur Knight shoot off in just a second at their Fern and their Adorito over in the corner, in theory, it should pass through my little Fury, and now it gets the opportunity to keep going. So when Fury themselves have an attack speed buff, builds them with augments that give them attack speed buffs, and then with True Sight, the one thing that I'm missing is just percent health damage. If I was able to get that, then my Fury, even as a baby snake, can be like one of the best DPS units in the game. NPC rounds, level 9. This is where I kind of want to park for a while. Heady, potentially, or do we get Flare in? Let's bring Flare. And let's see if one of two things happen. If we get a synergy chip or we can get a fire chip, that'd be 3 fire, and then I can actually commit a little bit more into at least getting up to Furiox. If that doesn't happen, we can maybe get a Bulwark chip. Let's see how it goes. Fire chip. Bingo. But I'm going to be patient with the rest of these. Resistance Piercing, I'll gladly accept. And now Singe is here. Good to see you, Singe. Who do I want to become fire at the same time? Let's give this actually to Fern. I will recycle a yellow. Put you here. Let's make it so that Fern gets energy faster. And do I have any use for this additional blue? Maybe we do something like this. Energy resistances, make you tanky, make you untargetable, so you kind of break pathing. Now, I'm kind of banking on something here. I am level 9, going up against Mike. Mike has snakes. I want said snakes. If I can get the kill shot right now onto Mike and not spend a thing, sit here with 100 some odd credits in the bank, maybe I can roll heavily and look for Furiox. Alright, unfortunate charm positioning, I believe, coming on through to the point where my snake is so far away from the Fernite, there's going to be little to no effect, but that's okay. The rest of the squad going to come on through nicely, and I think my Fury is still going to top things out here. So GG's, Mike. Hate to knock you out of here. Prowler, GG's as well. Well fought. Well played. Bulwark chip. This is huge, actually. This makes so I don't have to put another one of these bulwarks onto the field. We've got it right then and there. And we've got a tanky augment we can place here onto you. There we go. Can we get the Piercing Force Reactor? We do. Percent health damage is now in effect. Furiox is here. There is still a world where we can pivot into other Invokers. In fact, there's one of them. Can we find Her Knight by chance? I'm a little slow on the scan in front, so we will pause for the time being, going up against Vortex Mill. One of the buttons, of course. Now that we have Furiox, this is where things get really powerful for us. Our Fury was already very good, but now we have Machine Gun Furiox with actual percent health damage. So it should be able to go after anything with True Sight for that additional bit of safety. Do I need that safety versus Hector? It doesn't actually look like it. Well, I mean, you're dealing with the Heady, so there's still a blind there. So I might need to keep it. Saving up for Seaforus is just extremely greedy at this point. So I'm going to sell those. Start to build the squad a little bit bigger. Part of me wants to get rid of the Flish. However, I also like having 6 Nature. So I'm a little bit torn, but I think we do potentially. No, I'm going to hang on just a minute. No, never mind. Let's switch it. We'll bring in the Sinalf. Gets us up to 4 water. That could potentially boost Fernite to get that cast off a little bit quicker. Same thing here with Sinalf. Sinalf is going to go down really quickly. Of course, we do have that True Sight, so Umber, no big deal. As long as our tanks are alive, we'll be in great shape. And Furiox isn't being targeted. It did for a second. The shot from the Ranger made things difficult. So it's still anybody's round here, thanks to that damn Ranger. They will be able to take care of Furiox. Can we potentially have our Singe deal with this thing? I don't think so, actually. The Ranger coming out here from the bot is going to be able to crush us. A little unfortunate. Now we're up against Hector. Hector does have a Furiox on the bench, so we got to race him, I think, for it a little bit. Okay, there we go. Twine is here. Her Knight is now here, too. I think I pause here. None of us are going to be able to actually outright kill each other right now, so no point in doing anything irrational. Yeah, we'll sit here. Let's see how it goes. Kind of organize the bench while this is all happening, too. Where is my Sinalf beam going to go? Towards the snake or towards a fern? Neither, actually. Going towards the Adorito, but that roots from the twine, making things really annoying. Again, very tanky squad, but with as long as Furiox is shooting, we're getting more percent health damage. There goes the foe. The tank line is down, but so is ours, basically. That's a good shot there from the Sinalf, directly through, I believe, 2 of them. They have an absolute ton of shield, though, so they have a little bit of a safety net in that regard. But we took care of the Furiox, and I imagine we clutch it up from there. There we go. Good shot, Sinalf. Yes, that Verdant will proc. Yes, the Overtime Pulses will proc as well, but we're A-okay. So I don't think Hetty actually ends up finding a time to play in this round. What is on the bench? I mean, there's a lot of nature units, but again, snakes. That is going to be the scariest thing. While neither of us are going to be dead by any means after this next round, whoever gets Scoriox is in a fantastic position to just win the game outright. I mean, I wasn't looking for flares, but they're definitely teasing me there. Oh boy, okay. Throwing myself into a couple pickles here, apparently. Let's do the burning variant. This team relies a lot on healing over time. Let me reduce that a little bit, why don't we? Toxic Invoker, really how we're going to end up going? Actually, no, I think I might see another option. Wish I had an opportunity to use you here, but not this time. Gonna keep on looking. As much as I'd love to go for Fern, I don't think I can. I think Fisto's too gritty to go for. Bingo. This is how we get through it. Another very close battle here. Still have my Adorito, still have my Furiox, and it's shooting very, very quickly. Overtime Pulses coming on through. Do we still have a heal left in the tank, Adorito? We do not. We're going to end up going down. Just barely, eh? Okay, here's how we go through this now. Link with the Furiox for Steam Invoker. Give this to you. We'll give this to you as well. Give you the piercing aspect. Scoriox is here, so I cannot potentially score it there. Only upgrade I could potentially get here versus Hector might be Adorius. And it does not look like I'm going to hit it. Going to be one away here. I don't mind the positioning of my Dual F as of this moment, because I think we can tag... Oh, not after it moved, though. I was going to say, I think we can maybe tag the Scoriox and the Fernite. But no, the Fernite moved. Rough start here for my tank line. They do get shredded pretty quickly. This one looks pretty good, but the Adorito moves as well. We do not have any sort of immunity. I did not build this to be a proper 5 Scion team. It's Bulwark-centric instead, which is going to make us pay. I'm one elk away from getting what I want here. Any way we can upgrade this. Can we get a bit of a sharper angle onto this current tank line right off of this first cast? Yes, I know I'm right in forest range, but this is kind of what I'm shooting for. We're hitting multiple tanks at the exact same time. Can we maybe kill a couple of them off? Not so bad off the rip. It's a much closer fight compared to last time. And, okay, I see what Hector's doing here. So on one hand... Never do this in tournaments. I see who's sleeping here. It's hard for me to get excited about getting a win when Scoriox is sitting there on the bench. However, at the same time, this is absolutely the icing on the cake now that Phosphorus has arrived. Well, I get an upgrade. How do we do this? Is there any world... I know this is not optimal. I wish I had Fur Knight buffing. But what happens if I can keep my Adorius alive? We're not going to usually win this matchup outright, so let's see if a little bit of a cheeky switch-up can maybe do the trick here. Shot from the Sinolf, going directly through the Scoriox. This is kind of what I was hoping for. Nearly one-shotting it. Can we get one more shot before you go down, potentially? How about that? Beautiful lineup. One more time, please. One more time before that Phosphorus takes you down. It will actually kill off the Scoriox, but there is still the Phosphorus doing work. So we will end up falling in that regard. Good effort, but not quite enough. Surprised we didn't necessarily get killed off there. Let's adjust our bunker. I'm going to go up just ever so slightly. Let's double up down towards the bottom. Snuggle. Yeah, I figured this was for the side of experience, and it wasn't meant to be disrespectful. You're good, Hector. You're good. Very rare that we ever get, like, all these tier 3s on... Or, not tier 3s, all these stage 3s on the board, too. So, absolutely, get experience while you can. Healing efficiency. This also gives Omega power. Where did my augment go? Oh, it's right there. Energy. Oh, actually, hang on. Shield up. You go here. Is there any reason... Oh, yeah, there's the Blotto. Okay, let's give Fur Knight the stealing. No, let's give Adorius the stealing. Level up. Is there one more empath that we could potentially throw onto the board here? Kind of. The little Vermilia is going to be thrown onto the board purely for the sake of getting another shield proc from the empath. This now gives me 4. Fire on through here. That, again, that might be a healing-based style of augment, but it does give Omega power. So I'm hoping that maybe that just tiny little bit of extra Omega power can make a difference. It will not. Hector will absolutely crush us here this time. GG, Hector. Well played. Did I just somehow window my game? That's the first time I've ever had that happen. All I did was hit enter. Terms of experience. I'll fix the screen here in a second. I don't know why that happens. But there we go. Ador getting a level in particular. Same thing with Stoic Links. Happy to see that. There we go. We still got time for more. Let's keep going. We've gotten a little bit of rating. Of course, rating very hard to come by. But we take it where we can. Yes, GG's Hector. Hector and everybody else out in that lobby, of course. GG's. Between the smoke and whatnot, and then the topics from yesterday's stream, I was hella anxious over the last day or two, so I tried something a little bit different today. Switched up the coffee. We're not doing coffee today, we're doing tea instead. I was way too amped and way too shaky yesterday. Still had fun nonetheless, don't get me wrong, but the jitters were definitely there. The one thing that I'll say to anybody who's potentially looking to commentate, potentially looking to stream, and has stage fright or nerves going into their gigs, I've been doing this for over a decade. I still get it. The only difference is that you learn how to tolerate it. The nerves do not go away. There's Mavsby, good to see ya. Hope you're having a fantastic day. GG so far. Keep pushing. I know the leveling up grind is very, very tough, but you look like, based off the teams that you're building, it looks like you're on the right track. So please, keep pushing, even though results might be a little bit hard to come by, especially early on here in the arena life. Because, yeah, talking about the whole ownership side of things, I know it was going through the Discord for a little while there. And it's weird because does, like, say, ownership maybe need a change at some point? Maybe. But is that going to fix the situation that we're in right now? Not a chance. There's, again, many more systems in play that need fixing first, or need to be created first, before we can even truly think about that. So, I've been bouncing all over the place because my main thing that I still do believe in is that the better decks based off of level and based off of TPI should absolutely have edge over other players. The only thing that would get me frustrated is if it gives you insta-win. And there are some times where it does feel very insta-win. But up against Hector, up against you in that time by, like, I can recognize that, like, my team was weaker, but it still felt within reach. And that's good. Because if you screwed up and made a mistake, I could win. So maybe we're okay. I mean, obviously, very small sample size there, and confirmation bias, but, you know, it is what it is. I spent the last few days buying newer, higher TPI Illuvials and started XP grind with them. Perfect, that's how it's done. Kept fluctuating over and under 1280. So when I'm under, I get easy lobbies, but then when you get over and you're running into us, yeah, that's definitely very, very tough. Yeah, that's a weird little limbo that you're kind of stuck in. Because your average level, like your ranger level is what? 18, 19? So you're starting to get up there. I mean, that's definitely something that's, well, I recommend that everybody in the Discord kind of, like, post their experiences with this kind of thing, too. Because I just don't want to make it seem like I'm talking out of my rear and just theory crafting all the time, right? So this would be an interesting thing that, like, could be brought up to Perry, for example. It's like, hey, my average level is 20. I'm getting over the rating of 1280. Those games are easy, but then I go into ranked and then I'm getting crushed. So is there maybe some small adjustment that could be made to maybe cover that option, so to speak? Because, of course, the 1280 was just a starting point for the system. Maybe it can go higher, maybe it can go lower, not 100% sure. But if it seems like level 20 is the hard part, we can definitely bring that up. I mean, I guess at least at one point, like, ego always gets checked immediately. You're feeling yourself after the easy game and then immediately just getting hit again. But it's like a nice little test of sorts. But, of course, a little bit weird. Your daughter got her first and ranked yesterday. Let's go. She was very excited. That's awesome. I'm happy to hear that. That's incredible. Now here's the thing. Does she play your team or does she play something else? Or not like your team in terms of your Illuvials, but in terms of Tsunami, Water, Toxic. Is that what she plays too, or does she try her own thing? Does own all the Illuvials, but they're unleveled. Fair. What's her go-to team comp? Full air. That's a cool one. I was going to make a cute or make a comment, but I didn't want to stereotype because I was going to say full air has 3 things going for it, and all of them are really cute. You have Kookaloo or Kookaraf. You have the polar bear, at least the first form. And then there's also the fennec foxes. So I did not want to make a judgment call and just say that she was playing a team that I would consider cute, but I was going to make the guess that if she's playing air, it's because it's a cute team. Is that what's going on there? Kookaraf is her favorite, though. That's cool. That's awesome. Okay, here we go. 3 out of 8 this time by with Blazin and Hector in lobby. All right, here we go. Okay, links check. What do we get this time by? It's going to be the fighter ones. The Relentless Terror links this time. Guard Bluff. Legendary crates, you say? I always have this dilemma with the crate. Do I open it early and then tailor my team around that? Or do I pick my team first and then tailor the legendary around that? Oh, hello, Revo. I think I'm in an interesting spot where the team might have decided itself. You very rarely just get a tier 1 that fast, so I'm very impressed with this. The fact that we've got Revo already on hand is very, very interesting, and it actually kind of lines up with the Lynx's 2 clings. What the heck is this luck coming in here today? Okay, let's get air enabled. Give you the Void Cleaver Revo alongside this. Now I need this augment to change into a red one so I can potentially get a phase breaker. And I think I'm actually in great shape. Like, incredible shape. A very lucky start to this one, because again, getting a tier 1, I think at level 2 or something, is like maybe a 10% chance. So to have all 3 of those rotas show up immediately was ridiculous. And then getting 2 clings, again, 4% chance. It's kind of hiding behind me here, but it's a 4% chance to actually land a single tier 3, let alone 2 of them. So if there is a world where I can have cling very, very early, switch up the twine, that is a hell of an upgrade. Now, can I find something that could potentially work with me here? I mean, maybe there is. What do we got going on here? Blazin, not picked yet. Hector, not picked yet. Okay. Oddly enough, bingo. Okay, phase breaker? Not quite, we'll do this for now. Okay, let's clean the bench. We're gonna be winging this one badly. I did not get any of the normal weapons that I would like. I usually even pass on the Earthgrass Scepter now. I feel like it kind of forces me into team comps that I don't necessarily like. Bloodthirst, hell yeah, I'll take that. Okay, Kling needs some levels, so this is okay. I kind of want to switch this into a phase breaker. My Ranger as of this moment is just set up for Dust. I love having Dust extremely quickly here, and we're able to get the Scion Shield. I think this is being argued right now for being one of the better, if not the best weapon in the game. thanks to just how damn tanky this shield makes you as a ranger. And it's very annoying to deal with, so I'm happy to pick it up right now. Phase Breaker on the first try. We are getting so much luck with our RNG today. JB, don't look, you might get jealous, because this is kind of absurd, I'm not gonna lie. This is some true streamer luck. I know RNG absolutely hates you. Okay. Blazin', I'm going to be the level down, however, I have a lot of evolutions compared to their current state, but they do have a Fury, so I mean, that's still going to be doing some serious damage if I'm not careful. My Revo going to go directly point blank with you, actually, to try and mess. Nyom. Yeah, with Fury down, we should be able to slowly but surely chew away. There we go. What did Hector even go into now? So they did go rogue. Okay. Thank you. RNG and I don't get along. Yeah, I believe it. I've seen your stream enough times to know the amount of times trying to get Axodon when literally nobody else is trying to get it. I feel ya. A Relentless Links, welcome. Overflower or Phase Breaker? I'm gonna try Overflowing this time here. We're going up against Hector. So I'll make it so that the setup is kind of like this. But because all of them are going to just be diving at me, there's no reason for my ranger to be the one diving at all. So we're going to make the quick switch up like this. Will be Dust Enchanter, but this way my ranger's not diving to the other side, and it can actually help the rest of the team. Revo's doing just fine. They're up in the corner, up until this point where they put themselves into danger, but we do have the Phase Breaker. There's no guarantee we get out of this alive, but we can maybe take a couple down. We do take a couple down. I'm happy with that. Happy with that, all things considered. Should have maybe swapped out the links for the Kuka in this last one, but hindsight. Busy. It's all situated like this. Revo over here. Relentless Links, you can come join us. Is there any use for the flare based off of what I'm going for? I don't think so. We'll do something like this. Just straight up face tank them. As soon as I get that shield lasts for a very long time. And that's without the augment. There's an augment you can get for the ranger shield that basically doubles the shield size. Almost makes you feel impenetrable. Because I'm using some Illuvials that are not my top tier ones, you can tell even trying to chew through some of these bots are not as easy as we saw in some past games. We're going to be able to do it this time nonetheless, so I'm happy about that. Okay, Twine very early into this one is a nice pickup. Rampy could potentially come play. Do we make the switch? I mean, we could try. Links coming on through. So if I did that, that would be Magma Phantom, eh? Now, oddly enough, that Alfie's actually built like a tank, but my Caradulo's doing a fantastic job of stopping that. Rampy sadly didn't get their Omega off, so we're going to miss a little bit of value in that regard. But in theory, as soon as my Revo gets swung in there again, there we go, triple kill, spares it up. And we'll be able to clean that one up very nicely. Ooh, Fox was there and I didn't even see it. Blazon, also with lynxes in hand here. Now, where is that shield? There's scaling. We'll go for the scaling. Didn't get the augment that I was specifically looking for, but we'll gladly accept the one that we did get. There's the Kookaloo. Do I want you in right now compared to the Lynx? I think I do. Do something like this instead. You go over here. Little Rampy, can you find a hole to dive in? Would love to see it. Kind of off to the side. 1 Omega. No, we got lasered down, oddly enough, by the little fish, so that was unfortunate. I need to level up that little Rampy, but it dies so quickly. Okay, so Dust Enchanter currently online. So what I'm thinking, getting air potentially again would be really cool. Again, what is it? It's going to be physical damage coming out here from Hector, right? Let's take a book or a page out of the air book then. Maybe that's where we go. Mammoth. It's Kuka again. Is there any other Kukas here? It's just me, it looks like, actually, eh? Alright. Okay, snowballing damage. I like the idea of that. Okay, Rota again. Let's get Mammoth later. There's Kuka again, but I'm gonna be short. Lynx doesn't make sense anymore in the squad. Let's swap that out. Kuka. Swap you. Put you up here. Snowballing damage, potentially. You know what? Birdo? Run with the wind here. Cool. That's one of the knives looking for. Ironically, going for Gyro here this time. Been having, honestly, a lot of fun with Gyro over the last couple of days. Been able to put at least a couple of levels. Flare can be extremely fun, but I'm not necessarily set up for that right now. Question is, do I keep looking for the bird? I think I do. Nobody else has a single dodo on their team. And I'm 2 away. 1 away. Come on. Got him. Hector, are you looking for dogs? Yes, you are. I'll scoop one. Okay. Situated like this. Okay, so the Ranger in the middle. Does my Kukaraf have enough range to shoot over my Ranger? It does. I actually like this little setup then. And I know it may seem counterintuitive, it might seem a little bit stupid, but I do like to frontline my Quinks as an additional user of Dust. Just to be able to get more blinds, more disruption, let everybody else go. Does that mean that I don't get as many charms? Absolutely. It does go down a little bit quicker. But what oftentimes happens, as long as it's not a backline-centric team, I can get enough delay in with Dust to put Quinks in the front line. If I'm going up against somebody using Scion, like in this instance here versus Blazon, then no, of course, I'm going to be putting Quinks in the back line. That's a given. But when it's up against a frontline team, not so much. Okay, let's level. Let's get a little dive buddy in there. We're a single credit away from being able to get to 70 here once again. And then with this setup as well, this isn't a very stationary squad. They'll all move up together and be able to back each other up rather nicely. Take advantage of this dust. Yes, that first shot from the Sin-Off's kind of scary. It did get almost into a position that could wreck my day a little bit. But I think now that Gyro's going in, give me the blinds. There it goes. That's a good shot. Gyro, clean them up, why don't we? So Tempest is on my mind, and with that, it's actually not too bad. We've got the hard part about getting Tempest. Getting Kukaraf is usually the most toughest part. Finding Mammoth is much more doable. Alright, Polar Bear. Come help. We're going to do a little bit of a split. You come around here. Let's get set up like a mini bunker of sorts. With Gazatep, with Quinks snuggling everybody. There comes the Penguin. There is no true sight here. Big blinds all over the place. But now can Gyro find some value? That's the scary part. I have no true sight of my own, so that Rake is going to be able to free fire. Heck, a lot of these Illuvials are going to be able to free fire rather nicely. There's a lot of air still on this team. We survived for a pretty long time, but there's still so many low health bars. Not enough to actually find kills, though. We find one, but that is basically it there. There's one Mammoth. NPC round here now, too. Okay. Yeah, now we just got to get Mammoth. We'll be at level 8 in a second as well, which is going to make things rather nice. And this is kind of annoying. I'd love to be able to get Verminio into play. But I think I'm going to sell them anyway, because my Verminio is only level 30. And I'm going to need more than that. Okay. Fighter weapon's actually super tempting right now. It may be stupid, but I want to do it. So what's going to happen? So we're going to rely on Gyro a little bit more. Oh, come on now. Am I not able to move my augment? That was random. But here, we're unironically going to go for Slayer here to go help out Gyro and let them carry just a little bit harder. In theory, this was stupid because probably Dust Enchanter as a whole might be better. However, this does let me do one thing. And that is, again, have 6 air, but I can actually utilize my already leveled up Squiz. So that's where my mind is at with this. Starting energy is going to be important, I do believe, but I like this one here too, 5% across the board on everything. Let's go for that. Well, level. Can I move this, please? Yes, thank you, finally. What in the heck happened that first time there? I have no idea. Okay. Make you tankier. Actually, make you tankier, rather. Give you the air imprint. Get you situated like that. Level up a little bit more. Get 6 air on board. And yes, Doggo can go in there as well. Now, Hector we know is already going for Umber. So trying to fight Hector for Umber is going to be annoying. If I'm taking any, it's just for the sake of stealing it. But that's going to be the difference maker. In a perfect scenario where people aren't listening to what I'm saying and I'm trying to be like cheeky or something along those lines, with what I'm going for with it being a Slayer build, in theory, this looks like I'm coming to fight you for Umber. But that's not actually what I'm doing at all. Okay, so there's Blazin'. Make this switch here, actually. Cover up and protect my little mini corner. Let you dive in. Let's see how we do. A fully evolved mammoth on the side of Blazin' does worry me a bit, because it does mean trying to find my own middle stage evolution mammoth is going to be very tough. Rampy, what can you get for me? Look at that damage from that little guy. That was sure as hell satisfying. And with all those health bars nice and low, that lets Kukurap and Gyro go crazy. Beautiful. And hello, polar bears. Hello, Squiddy. Okay, so now, Rampy, come back. We're up against Hector now. Let me squeeze in there. So this now turns into a heavy air composition, but it also has shock. Shock, of course, isn't great, but it's at least something to help. And by going after the Tiru immediately, this is now letting my Gyro actually have its buffs from the Slayer effect extremely quickly. That's one of the scary parts of having the tree kangaroos on your team, because a little cub, if it gets picked off, it does count towards takedown effects. Sadly, Hector, I mean, this is like one of their best teams, so I'm still going to be absolutely dunked on, but that's alright. But at least that's my mindset going into these matches. Okay, Rampy, I'm not going to worry about you anymore. We are very close to being able to get level 10. We weren't pressured very hard in regards to our health. We still have 50 left. I will be in a rather decent spot, I do believe. Pick these up. Anything to boost my dear little squid? Immune. You can take that. I think their current setup's actually not bad. This is... oh, Breach Pulse. You can take that. Mammoth. We are very close to leveling, but I'm not going to spend yet. Not yet, not yet. Slayer dive buddies, going to go at it here in just a second. One thing I'm curious about what I'm doing, if it's a mistake, since I do see the piercing force reactor, of course, onto my Kukaloos as of this moment, but I do have the Void Caller on another. Does Void Caller I can't even remember. Does Void Caller proc on hit effects? Like, does each of the split shots proc max health? That's what's kind of on my mind. Okay. Very, very curious there. 1 second. Squid. Oh, TS. That works. And then maybe just to get 3 bulwark, we add my dear little beetle. It smoked up pretty heavy again? Okay. Well, thankfully we don't smell anything inside. still absolutely bulldozed here. My poor little gyro is trying its best. We shall absolutely get clobbered. Okay, Tempest is here now. Can I potentially find my squids? Not cleanly, that's for sure. No point in me really holding these anymore. I mean, it's probably a definite sentence if I do that, but it is what it is. Move gyro a little bit more centered. I'd love it to be able to pick away at something a little bit more valuable, a little bit quicker. But again, I wish sometimes the root would happen anyway, just so it just auto-attacks. It's in a good spot, but again, we don't have True Sight. A good roll. That did a lot of damage, all things considered. Octius had the damage, but just not quite going to be enough to actually take care of any of these. That Slashing still doing its thing. We'll go down once again. One more round here for Hector, unless they XP buff me, if you know what I mean. I just walked past a polar bear. That's annoying. Mephisto has arrived. How do I protect this thing? I'm going to make a change. Okay. Yeah, so Slashing's having a time on the bench right now, so I'm going to pause for a second. We'll let it play out as is. So we're going to try something with Kukurap. Let's see if they can have additional auto attack max health damage thanks to the Void Caller. Gyro's still going to be doing its thing. It's still going to be hitting like a truck, but it needs to actually find some eliminations. That might be the first time I've ever seen the Gyro roll outside of a ramp fight Omega and not into one. So I'm happy about that. But yeah, Fisto has the damage to carry this, so I need to keep it protected. Just thinking as of this moment, I'm a little all over the place. The only upgrade I could potentially find is for polar bears. But then if I all of a sudden... Oh, I don't have a... Let's see. Polar bears, are you there? Oh, 2 Scarabox. Are you kidding me? We are not going to find bears. Not enough of them anyway. Literally a single one. So there, bam. Polar bear here. Not enough for one. That's a little frustrating. There was way too much for me to do there and not enough time. But let's see if maybe the little bit of a switch up can keep Mephisto alive here into this fight. Slashing is still in the bench, so we can have an okay attempt here. Heck, even the Ranger's not even bonded. So we're going to be, I think, A-okay in this one. Other than shock, is there something better that I can do to maybe link up and let Polar Bear go nuts? Because I would have Wildfire or Magma. But then I get rid of the Slayer side of things. A little bit of a miss there. I just randomly throw an ace there. That's not going to give me really anything. I thought I had more fire Illuvials than that. So, again, a little bit of a nothing burger. My polar bear is now the carry in this instance, ready to snowball. But the one problem with my polar bear, it does not have good attack speed. It's not going to be able to capitalize. I was better off going after Gyro. We tried. It was going to be tough. But we shall fall. GG's once again, Hector, and everybody in this game. Rampy getting a level up makes me happy. Quinks, potentially, can you get 2 if we're lucky? Awesome. There we go. We needed that. I want to use my air units a lot more often. I don't get an opportunity to very, very often. But I've been honestly having a lot more fun with Slayer-based Gyro. And it's really weird because I honestly find that, like, Gyro getting Slayer makes or breaks it. It's absolutely incredible. It's fun to play, fun to watch. But if Umber gets Slayer, I don't feel anywhere near as good when I get Umber with Slayer. I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's just a ranged nature of Gyro, but just something to keep in mind. Yeah, I've been able to put a lot more hours here onto Gyro, and we're all the way up to the high 50s now, so we're getting there. That was a good one. GG's once again, Hector. Good luck on your poker. Have a fantastic night. Now, if I started another game, I'd be a little bit over time, so I'm going to do something I think I haven't done here in a little while. Kind of got to get this set up live, though. It's been so long that I don't even have it ready. But geez, that was a fun day. So that's 1 first, I think, or what's 3 seconds? I think it was 3 seconds. Yeah, we climbed a little bit, nonetheless. Quickly fixing something up in the background. Bear with me a moment. Okay. I think it's been a little bit since we did a Illuvium Zero cooldown lap. So here, I'm just going to do my dailies and chill with y'all while doing so. And kind of, it's been a while since I think I had any of my plots actually even on stream. Kind of give you the showcase of what I'm, I guess, working with. And get a little bit of an update on my entire situation, because I made the joke here. I'm going to be pulling up my spreadsheet here in a second. So as usual, spreadsheet flashbang warning incoming. But I have a section here in my spreadsheet where I do have my Illuvium Zero goals. And because I have absolutely no idea what to do with Illuvium Zero right now, I basically made the joke that I'm just going to make a Lynx Empire. I'm going to have every single Lynx blueprint researched on every single plot. So I have it all based out here. So every single one of the Lynxes are at least researched once across all of my plots. So every single time I log in, we have the opportunity of getting just the entire collection of Lynx blueprints. What am I doing with them? I couldn't tell you. What else am I doing with my plots? Nothing really. What is there to do? But just collect fuel and collect some blueprints. So we'll scoop them up nonetheless here. Run through our science centers. A couple of my plots are still trying to collect all of the biodata. I'm very thankful. Oh, there we go. We got a blueprint here today. Virtuous Emberlings coming on through. Scoop that up. I'm thankful that I believe I have 3 plots that have every single biodata now for all the Illuvials currently in the game. And now it's just a matter of building the Lynxes and double-checking the passive fuel collectors. I don't usually play this every day. I'm out and about or something and I know I have either a long drive to sit in or like in a doctor's office or something along those lines, then okay, sure, I'll pop open Zero, but otherwise I maybe check this once a week nowadays. Oh, there we go. One more to the tally. Got a little ace. This one's pretty far behind in regards to its biodata collection, one of my newer plots here. What am I looking for? Science stuff, yes. Here we go. So a bunch of links is coming on through. Any blueprints today? Not today. That's okay. No rush anyway. Yeah, I don't even burn fuel anymore. There's just no point. Now this is actually my newest plot. Still got a long ways to go with this one, to the point where I don't even have consistent fuel generation. But that's more so of a me issue, just because I can't be damned to log in enough to actually collect my harvesters. But I could finally get all this passive fuel. I was capped for a good little bit there. Trying to get this thing up to level 9. We're getting there. I've got the storages big enough to be able to do so. Again, it's just a matter of logging in and actually collecting everything. And we have no science centers currently working with this one either. The second plot I've ever owned. Check this. Okay, that part's fine. Science centers. We do get the Stoic Terror link, so another one to add to the collection. And then just keep hopping through. Now, I'm actually filled up on fuel. Yeah, that's a lot of fuel banked up. I need to log in a little bit more to be able to convert these. I intentionally kept these rather low because before I was just using converters only to supply the science centers and the scanners, but I'm not using the scanners anymore on this plot because this is one of the plots that I do have maxed out at 130. I kind of want to get at least some of these passive ones going here. Not quite enough, and I don't want to waste it. Where's my storage for this thing? 1, 2, where's the Krypton storage? All the way over there. It's level 5. I can actually upgrade that. Yeah, we can do that. We'll get that upgraded. I'll keep these passives online for now, and then I'll scoop them up a little bit later. Same thing here. So just tomorrow morning, I gotta remind myself to actually wake up and finalize this thing so we can get things moving. Crimson. Relatively newer plot, not as many scanners currently on this one. I'm just kind of chipping away with one. And just consistently having these converters much bigger. Try and keep my fuel count as close to even as possible. Water or hydrogen, whatever you want to call it. Pick that part up. Sciencey stuff. Any blueprints today? I'm very happy that even on some of my newer plots, like say this one for example, I at least have the baby linkses or maybe some of the stage 2 linkses available. It really came a long way with allowing me to have every single links variant researched at the exact same time. Now this is my biggest plot, tier 3 plot. With the collectors being so big, I kind of have to pick and choose which ones I want to open when. No scans, but how about this? Virtuous, or not Virtuous, but Relentless Zephyrlings? Nope. Arcane, no. Nimble, no. Virtuous Lings. We're going to find a blueprint for that. Gladly accept that. Baby Legs? Not this time. Yeah, so we're getting at least a few things here this week. haven't been lucky the last two, so I'm happy to be able to collect a couple. Will it let me see my entire blueprint collection? It's got to kind of split between on and off chain now, but if I went to, say, Illuvial Tier 2s. Yeah, so this is essentially what I'm looking for. Like, I have just absolute tons of Link's blueprints. Again, what am I going to do with these? I have absolutely no idea. I hope something soon. I am with the absolute full expectation that what I'm doing is just stupid, pointless, and isn't going to ever muster up to anything. That this will have no value and the blueprints are essentially going to have no use. But if someday something comes around where these blueprints can actually mean something, and I'm not even talking about just making money, I'm just like, because, again, I'm playing this as a game, I'm not playing this as a job. So, I want to have fun with it, and part of having fun with it for me was bringing these blueprints into Overworld and making my own skins. But of course, the Link skins, first off, they couldn't be made in the first place, and if you did make them, well, they were never able to work in Arena for some reason anyway, even still to this day. I have a full collection of Baby Link skins that I would love to use. The Link skin is actually my favorite skin in the game, but I cannot use that, just like my Wave 5 battle board for some reason, and it's been months. But, again, is that really a priority in the grand scheme of things? I know it's not. Is Zero a priority? I mean, definitely not, unfortunately, here. But I hope something comes of it sometime soon. Because I want to have fun with this game. I do not care about the burning and earning. I do not care about, like, any of that leaderboard stuff. I just want there to be a purpose to having my Zero lands. I know the team for Zero is very, very small. In fact, it might literally... Oh, still except for Links. There we go. It might only be one person at this point there. And we do actually get a bow data. There's an Arcane Flora Links for us. I'll gladly accept that. Oh, I need more data bank, eh? Where is my bank? That's right there. I think... Okay, I do have the level 3. So I can actually level this up now. Yeah, let's do that. 30 more spaces. And I have enough resources, even if I have to pause my collectors for a few minutes or for a little bit just to get the data banks rolling. So I have one. I think I have a second one somewhere. I could be wrong. Oh, it's right here. Yeah. That's what it was. It was the silicon that was so difficult to try and get because I don't log in enough. Okay. I mean, that's one goal that I can work on. To get this thing upgraded. Log in a few more times. My Brightlands baby steps, my little tier 1. I'm maxed out on my collector, so I'm just relying on a couple of converters, very similarly to my other plots. And then I very quickly run out of space here for my passives. Yeah, there we go. Scanner Relentless Links. Hello there. Welcome, welcome. Nothing from my science centers. Resources. Very low on resources. Send that off and all's good. Oh, almost forgot you. There we go. That'll do. Yeah, like I know that Zero is supposed to be the support game, very similar to Arena in a sense, oddly enough, where Arena is kind of the supplementary, the secondary experience to what should be your adventure game. But just everything was done backwards. Because yes, Overworld was a thing, but obviously that wasn't necessarily the experience that they were looking to provide, and that's why, of course, Obelisk Rising is currently being developed. But it leaves us who already have the Illuvials and we're competing in the arena, that already have the land and are looking for something to do with it, has us in a very odd spot. yeah, I desperately want more of a reason to play this game. I enjoy Illuvium Zero. I loved building up my cities, and when I was able to make my own skins, that was my big goal. I had an entire spreadsheet before of collecting at least a suit and a drone skin for every single Illuvial, making combos for them. And I had not done it to all of them, but I had done it for a lot of them. But then they had made the change so that blueprints are now just strictly Illuvial based. There's no drone, there's no suit based ones anymore. It's just Illuvial. Which, I mean, that does make sense. It's simpler, fair enough there. But then with Overworld being gone, I can't do anything with crafting. So I desperately hope that something changes sometime soon. Because I want to have fun with this. I really do. But with that being said, we will be calling it a stream here for today. Do want to give the reminder to everybody that the Illuvium Arena House League is going to be happening tomorrow, of course. Ownership is back on here for this time. Last week was pretty fun with the ownership off, but again, I like that as one-offs here and there, and not the core version of Illuvium Arena House League. Because, one, turning ownership off doesn't all of a sudden mean that more people play. If anything, it was quieter. And then, of course, ownership, that's the whole thing about Illuvium, right? Having our own Illuvials, competing with them, leveling them up, and just ranking up slowly but surely, whether it be actually on the ladder or whether it be in the House League divisions. It all makes an absolute big difference. And we have 9 people currently signed up. It looks like Link's League is currently in the lead in regards to signups, which is absolutely fantastic. In the description of this video will be the sign-up sheet. It is also in the Discord. So, again, for those that may not necessarily be aware, the Illuvium Arena House League, you sign up for it. It's a completely free tournament that you could enter. And what ends up happening is I will manually look at your collection score. Like, I'll scan your collection and see what your levels and your TPI, all that jazz is. How many Illuvials you have, how many you're missing. And then I put you into a lobby with players of the same skill, same collection level. So this way, no matter what, you should be in a fight that is much closer than something you would experience in ranked. And the prize for all this? Illuvials. Illuvial packs have been provided by Illuvium themselves. They send me some skulls to open some packs. In Illuvium Deathmatch, I send those Illuvials to you so you can use it for either Arena, Deathmatch, what have you. Heck, if you have a full collection and you want some more anyway to go sell, by all means, you do your thing. That doesn't bother me. Once you have those Illuvials, you do you. But all that just for playing the game. And Caribou Cup, of course, also has access to the Silence House Community Rescue, where not only are you going to be getting packs for winning, but I specifically look into your account and see, hey, they're missing a flare. Let's give them a flare. And it's a community-run kind of situation here. So there's lots of fun to be had. I'm looking forward, of course, to tomorrow. I don't compete in my own events personally. I always kind of commentate them in the best esports style that I can. So that'll be the goal for tomorrow. I'll be taking the weekend off, of course, and then we will be back on Monday with some more Illuvium streams right after that. Topics are still to be determined, but you can expect that Illuvium Arena House League will be Friday once again. And of course, This Week in Illuvium, the news-based show, will be Wednesday. Everything else is fair game. It'll be around the Illuvium universe one way or another. We'll figure it out. But as always, once again, whether it be in the deathmatch pit, whether it be in the arena on the battle floor, or in the arena battlegrounds, I hope that you just have an absolute fun time with whatever you're doing. Good luck with your leveling. Good luck with your training ranger. Just have the best time possible. Especially for newcomers. I know it's hard out there, but once you actually get leveled up, this is an incredibly rewarding game. And that's why even I still play this game while there's Pokemon out there. While Pal World is getting a got their 1.0 release. While there's a bunch of other creature collectors out there that are interesting Nothing scratches the itch for me like Illuvium, and we have not even gotten our adventure game yet. I cannot wait. I'm going to keep pushing. As long as it's still fun, I'll keep going. So until then, hopefully I'll see you tomorrow for House League. It'll be a fun one. Have a fantastic night.
Woke up tired, didn't sleep all night. Mine's still running like a traffic light. Red for stop and green for go. I'm stuck somewhere in between them both. Brushed my teeth and checked my phone. Everyone looks like they've already grown. Smiling faces, perfect lives. I'm here asking, what am I doing with mine? I don't have a plan, I just have today. Trying not to throw the little good away. Heart's still heavy, but I'm still here. Taking one small step through the fear. I'm tired, but I'm not giving up. I'm scared, but I'm still showing up. One small step is enough today. I'm not fine, but I'm on my way. I'm tired, but I'm not giving up. I'm scared, but I'm still showing up. One small step is enough today. I'm not fine, but I'm on